The movie begins somewhere in China as a young woman's car lies stranded by a deserted highway. With frustration mounting and a dead phone, she hesitates when a rough-looking truck driver offers help. However, relief washes over her as a seemingly harmless man in glasses stops his car to assist. In the car, she expresses her gratitude towards the man in glasses. He appears kind and urges her not to judge the truck driver solely by his appearance. Things quickly turn upside down as she tries to recline her seat, but accidentally touches a cold, bloody hand on the back seat. The calm facade of the man shatters, replaced by a chilling glint in his eyes. He slams on the brakes, transforming from savior to monster as he brutally murders the girl with a wrench. However, in the next scene we see that this incident is actually being narrated by a man to a bus driver who remains skeptical of the story. The bus, carrying 6 passengers, is being driven by driver Kang on the winding Jinpen highway. Among the passengers are salesman Ma Wen, tunnel engineer Han Shen, a pregnant woman Wu Yu, a lady named Tang Xinyu who is wearing heavy makeup and a revealing red dress, and teenage siblings Xia and her autistic brother Juju. As they ascend the treacherous road, the radio announces news of a highway closure due to an accident in a nearby tunnel, urging travelers to take a detour. The bus driver suggests a shortcut, and none of the passengers object to it. Their bumpy journey soon finds them entering a tunnel carved through a hill. However, only a little distance into the tunnel, the driver slams on the brakes for a passenger standing in the middle of the road. Though unusual, he allows the man, Chen Jia, to board his bus. Inside, the tunnel engineer recognizes Chen Jia as a wanted criminal from a newspaper article. Choosing caution, he hides a knife nearby for protection. Meanwhile, the pregnant Wu Yu, frustrated with her husband, throws her phone out the window and tries to calm her nerves with knitting. However, Han Shen becomes suspicious as he realizes they've been driving for 20 minutes with no sign of an exit, and no other vehicles on the road. Turning back, they drive for another 30 minutes, yet the tunnel seems endless. Bewildered, the driver stops and argues with the equally confused passengers. Suddenly, Wu Yu notices her phone lying on the road and retrieves it. Astoundingly, she recalls throwing it out near the tunnel entrance. Juju showcases his sharp mind as he estimates the bus had traveled nearly 300 meters before Wu Yu had thrown out her phone. Han Chen, the engineer, confirms the tunnel shouldn't be longer than 3 kilometers, but the driver insists they've driven at least 30. Trapped in the endless tunnel, the passengers face an unsettling reality. Refusing to believe in supernatural forces, Han Chen suggests measuring the tunnel's length by walking with a rope. Unexpectedly, the silent Chen Jia offers the pregnant woman's knitting yarn for the task. Together, they venture into the depths of the tunnel. After walking a considerable distance, the yarn runs out. To their bewilderment, they find a used fishing line lying there. Despite their hesitation, they tie it to the yarn and continue their trek. Suddenly, an eerie fog descends upon the tunnel, as the passengers near the bus anxiously await for the 2 men. Tang, the lady in red, screams. Shadows loom in the fog, approaching from the opposite end. To everyone's shock, it's Han Chen and Chen Jia returning to the starting point, still holding the fishing line. But the horror doesn't end there. They find a severed finger attached to the end of the fishing line, which sends chills down their spines. The bus driver, Kang, suggests paranormal activity, while Tang speculates about a hallucinogenic drug causing their nightmarish experience. Yet, Han Chen insists on being rational, determined to find a scientific explanation for their endless journey. Facing the possibility of prolonged confinement, the passengers sit down on a table and share their food. Tang's picky eating habit leads to Ma Wen acquiring an extra packet of noodles. After a small snack, the men venture back into the tunnel, searching for escape while the women and Juju rest in the bus. Upon their return, they find the bus covered in a thick layer of dust, as if the bus had been sitting there for ages. Ma Wen adds to the unsettling atmosphere by mentioning his renewed hunger despite having just eaten. The bus driver, Kang, makes a horrifying discovery. The food they stored has rotted, confirming their fear that time moves faster within the tunnel. Their anxieties intensify when Kang fails to start the bus, despite repeated attempts. Meanwhile, Han Chen finds a map near the front seat despite clearly remembering that there was no map when he sat there. As a tunnel engineer, he examines the map and discovers a strange thing. While the map indicates that the tunnel runs in north-south direction, their compass points east-west. Chen Jia quickly looks at his weird watch, which has a timer counting down from 1 hour 14 minutes. Before Han Shen can elaborate his plan, the tunnel plunges into darkness. A blood-curdling scream pierces the night as Han Shen falls victim to an unseen attacker. When Kiang lights the headlights, Shen is gone, replaced by a chilling blood trail on the floor. Led by Chen Jia, the terrified passengers reluctantly follow the trail, which abruptly ends at a wall. Undeterred, Chen notices a hollow sound and slams a rod against the wall. To everyone's astonishment, a red door swings open, revealing a dusty room filled with antique artifacts, a television, and a macabre collection, newspaper clippings detailing missing and murdered individuals, including the article Han Chen was previously reading. As everyone searches the room for food, Chen Jia discovers an engineering blueprint of the tunnel on a table. Meanwhile, Zhu stumbles upon a horrifying display of 5 severed hands, each missing a ring finger. Kang points out the chilling connection to the finger found earlier in the tunnel, intensifying their fear. Studying the map, Chen identifies 6 other tunnels connected to their current one. He proposes finding an escape route through one of them. During their search, they uncover a calendar displaying only a single date, July 15th. Tearing down the calendar reveals a hidden passage. As they cautiously enter, the room's television flickers to life, showing a desperate woman trapped in water, pleading for help. Emerging from the passage, they find themselves in an abandoned tunnel. Chen and Kiang discreetly discuss Ma Wen and his story, with Chen harboring suspicions about his involvement in the killings. Kiang laughs at the idea, dismissing Ma Wen as too weak to be a killer. Suddenly, they spot Kiang's bus at a distance. However, the windows are shattered and it is surrounded by barbed wire. Kiang and Ma Wen rush towards the bus, discovering a large box of snacks identical to the one they had earlier. Fortunately, these snacks are not rotten. To Kiang's annoyance, Ma Wen takes the snacks outside to share with everyone. Enraged by this act, Kiang grabs a revolver found near the seat and storms out, claiming the snacks for himself. He ruthlessly shoves everyone away, declaring they are now on their own. Driven by hunger, Tang returns to the bus and seduces Kiang to share a packet of noodles. As tensions settle, Chen Jia approaches Kiang and emphasizes the urgency of finding an escape as his timer is slowly beginning to run out of time. He explains that hoarding food is futile, as it will decay rapidly due to the accelerated time within the tunnel. With tensions settling down, Ma Wen and Tang search for an exit in one direction, while Chen Jia, Wu Yu, and the siblings head the other way. Kiang remains near the bus. After walking a distance from the others, Ma Wen attempts to force himself on Tang. She retaliates by kicking him and angrily returns to the bus, informing Kiang about the incident. While Kiang and Tang are busy making love, Ma Wen steals a packet of noodles from Kiang. Before Ma Wen can enjoy his stolen food, Kiang emerges in a fit of rage, intent on punishing him. He throws Ma Wen to the ground and reaches for a tin drum in his fury. Just then, Ma Wen spots someone behind Kiang. But before he can warn him, a steel rod pierces Kiang's abdomen, killing him instantly. Ma Wen alerts the others, and chaos erupts. Tang accuses Ma Wen of murder, fueled by the stolen noodles, which he desperately denies. Insisting someone else is lurking in the tunnel, he rushes for the bus to retrieve another packet of food. Tang tries to stop him, causing a packet to fall beneath the bus. Desperate, Ma Wen reaches for the fallen packet and discovers a hidden trapdoor beneath it. Combining their strength, they push the bus aside and pry open the trapdoor. Descending one by one, they find a familiar sight, a dusty red room, identical to the one with the hidden passage. However, this time, a gruesome display of 4 severed ring fingers, each bearing a wedding band, replaces the 5 hands on the counter. Wu Yu speculates that the culprit targets married women. As before, the television depicts the woman trapped in a water-filled hole, desperately calling for help. Shaken, they proceed through the hidden passage. Emerging on the other side, they see a damp, leaky tunnel, and they once again encounter Kiang's bus. Tang and Ma Wen rush to it, hoping for food, but find only snakes and insects. Suddenly, Wu Yu screams in horror, her eyes fixed on 7 decaying bodies slumped at a table. The scene eerily mirrors their first meal in the initial tunnel, but instead of fresh food, the table is laden with maggot-infested, rotting noodles. Hunger gnaws at Ma Wen. Driven to madness by his craving, he grabs a green-black noodle and devours it. Witnessing his desperation, Wu Yu offers him a cracker. When Ma Wen asks for more, she refuses, emphasizing its importance for her unborn child. Ma Wen, transformed into a cold, ruthless individual, pulls out Kiang's gun and threatens everyone to hand over their food and obey his commands. Their journey resumes, fueled by the desperate search for an escape from the damp tunnel. Soon, they stumble upon another door, leading them into a familiar dusty red room. Wu Yu notices there is no secret passage behind the calendar, instead a collection of body parts preserved in jars. Meanwhile, Tang becomes captivated by a skeleton adorned in a beautiful traditional dress and jewelry. As if on cue, the television replays the agonizing image of the drowning woman, pleading for their help. With a deafening bang, Ma Wen shatters the television, silencing the woman's pleas. He coldly informs the group that he knows how to find a way out. lining them up at gunpoint. Ma Wen reveals his chilling theory. The deaths of Shen and Kang coincided with the discovery of exit ways from the previous tunnels. He believes another sacrifice is necessary to unlock the next passage. Tang, desperate to survive, attempts to seduce Ma Wen, but he cruelly rejects her advances, noting her fading beauty. She flees to the Red Room, seeking makeup and the ornaments on the skeleton. Meanwhile, Ma Wen considers the autistic Zhu as his next victim, but Chen Jie intervenes. Ma Wen confronts Chen about the strange timer on his wrist, asking for its significance. Chen counters that the answer depends on Ma Wen himself, sparking a fight. Chen gains the upper hand and disarms Ma Wen. Holding the gun, Chen demands that Ma Wen tell him more about the murder story that he told the bus driver earlier. Ma Wen reveals a chilling detail. A mysterious voice whispered the story to him while he slept on the bus. He refuses to reveal the ending, fearing its horror. Desperate, Ma Wen grabs a shard of glass and holds it to Wu Yu's throat, forcing Chen to surrender the gun. Back in control, the increasingly psychotic Ma Wen orders a heavily pregnant Wu Yu to shoot Chen, inflicting a shoulder wound. A chilling laugh escapes Ma Wen's lips as he is about to whisper the story's end into Chen's ear, moments before his demise. However, Xia, the teenager, intervenes with a swift strike to the back of his head. Despite the hit, Ma Wen remains unfazed and drags Xia by the neck into the Red Room. Tang, oblivious to the struggle, continues applying makeup, unconcerned by the brutal scene unfolding before her. Suddenly, Zhu pushes Ma Wen away, prompting him to point his gun at the teenager in a fit of rage. Xia bravely questions his masculinity, further fueling his anger. Without hesitation, Ma Wen shoots Xia, silencing her forever. Possessed by an unknown force, Tang rises from her vanity table and stabs Ma Wen with a hidden sword. Taking the gun, she and Zhu deliver the final blow, ensuring his death. As expected, a secret passage opens, not behind the calendar, but behind the wardrobe. This leads them to the fourth tunnel, an eerie place filled with strange lights, barbed wire, and mannequins. As Wu Yu goes into labor, Zhu stays by her side. Meanwhile, Chen Jie and Tang, armed with the gun and one bullet left, search the bus parked in the tunnel. Suddenly, Tang spots a seemingly alive Ma Wen outside and panics. Stepping out of the bus, she fires her final bullet at a shadowy figure, mistaking it for Ma Wen. Screaming in terror, she runs through the tunnel, stumbling upon numerous dead bodies of Ma Wen, duplicates of the man she thought she killed. Lost and desperate, she finds herself in a dark room with only an antique makeup drawer for company. As she sits before the mirror, a pair of unseen hands emerge from the darkness and swiftly slit her throat, ending her life. Wu Yu gives birth, but sadly, the baby does not survive. Chen Jie, Zhu, and Wu Yu, the remaining survivors, enter the fifth tunnel. Lush greenery fills the tunnel, and a door stands visible in the distance. As they approach the exit, Wu Yu unexpectedly stabs Chen Jie with a knife. The green leaves around them turn brown, and the timer on Chen's watch reaches 0 as he falls to the ground. Fading from the tunnel, Chen Jie finds himself waking up in a medical laboratory, surrounded by machines. He realizes the terrifying events he experienced were merely a dream. The only real event was the murder of the hitchhiker at the movie's beginning. The next scene reveals more details as police officers discuss the murder. 2 days ago, serial killer Zhang Zhu, fleeing the police, suffered a horrific accident near the Jinpen Mountain Tunnel and slipped into a coma. Zhu is a sadistic murderer who kidnapped 6 married women, torturing and killing 5 of them. He then cut off their ring fingers and used them as fishing bait. The 6th victim, according to police reports, is still alive. Using gathered clues, the police deduce that the 6th victim is held captive in a cave near the Xiangshui River. However, bad weather threatens to flood all nearby caves, jeopardizing the victim's life. In desperation, the police turn to leading psychotherapist Chen Jie. They ask him to use a medical experiment to enter the subconscious of the comatose Zhang Zhu, hoping to locate the 6th victim. The shocking truth is revealed. The 6th victim is none other than Chen's own wife. The experiment's first phase concludes, and the next begins in 24 hours. During this time, Chen delves deeper into the mind of the murderer, Zhang Zhu. He learns that Zhu's mother was an unfaithful actress, and his father, a salesman, was often absent, consumed by alcohol and fishing. On July 15, 1996, Zhu's mother murdered his father. Chen then decodes the symbolic meaning of the tunnel and its inhabitants. The tunnel represents Zhu's subconscious, and the passengers symbolize different aspects of his personality. The insurance salesman embodies his father, while the woman in red and heavy makeup reflects his mother. Chen Jie represents Zhu's rational, scientific, and social side, while Kang, the driver, embodies his violent impulses and hints of his mother's lover. The pregnant woman represents his superego, showcasing an ideal mother, hopeful, caring, and loving. Meanwhile, the siblings, Zhu and Xia, embody his childhood selves, one weak and interested in space and maths, the other effeminate, When Chen Jia joined them in the tunnel, he aimed to help Zhu escape his subconscious and return to reality. He even placed a map directly before Zhu's rational side, hoping it would guide them out. However, with the demise of the rational persona, Zhu's subconscious plunged into chaos, trapped in an endless loop. Analyzing the personalities he encountered, Chen concludes that one among them harbors a murderous intent, lurking in the shadows and claiming the lives of the others one by one. Time is of the essence, so Chen dives back into Zhang Zhu's subconscious, determined to find his wife. Before the experiment's second phase begins, the doctor warns Chen to limit his interactions with the real Zhu to avoid being influenced. Chen immerses himself once more in the depths of Zhu's mind. This time, he confronts the real Zhu directly, demanding information about the missing sixth woman. Instead of a straightforward answer, Zhu launches into a rambling monologue about his hatred for women, fueled by their supposed infidelity. Leaving him behind, Chen ventures deeper, where he finds the autistic teenager Zhu trapped in a cage. To his surprise, Xia, the effeminate side of Zhang's personality, also emerges despite being killed earlier in the bus travel. Chen deduces that Xia is the evil side who has been killing other personalities within Zhang. In response, Xia sarcastically claps on solving the mystery. Chen further adds that witnessing his cheating mother murder his father as a child has instilled in Zhang a negative perception of all women. This twisted perception fuels his desire to kidnap, torture, and kill married women. Teenage Zhu attempts to distance himself from Xia, declaring his desire to grow up alone and his hatred for killing. He tries to aid Chen in locating the sixth victim using his Rubik's Cube, but Xia drags him deeper into the darkness. Chen gives chase, experiencing a montage of traumatic events from Zhu's childhood. He ultimately finds himself in a theatrical room of fear, sitting in the audience alongside teenage Zhu. They watch as a mysterious figure dressed in black emerges from behind the curtain. As the doctor had warned Chen, this figure is an alternate version of Chen himself, seeping into and merging with Zhu's subconscious. This dark and menacing version of Chen is shaped by the gruesome criminal cases he has encountered throughout his career. This dark persona reveals that it was him, the evil Chen, that influenced teenage Zhu into killing the other passengers within the tunnel. He orders Zhu to kill Chen once more. However, drawing upon his expertise as a psychotherapist, Chen intervenes, showcasing the true love of a mother figure, thereby halting Zhu's murderous intent. Chen then guides the lost and frightened Zhu toward the tunnel's exit. As a result of Chen's actions, the real, older Zhang Zhu awakens in the laboratory. He reveals to the police the precise location of Chen's wife, leading to her rescue just moments before she drowns. But now, Chen must fight his evil alter ego and win. If he fails to do so, the evil alter ego will take over his body. Chen defeats his evil side again and every time. The evil side simply stands up, fresh as he was in the start. Seeing no other way, Chen grabs the pistol he had been hiding and shoots his own head, killing his evil alter ego but slipping into coma himself. As the movie ends, we see a bittersweet ending. Chen, seemingly healthy, is walking inside a tunnel when a bus stops near him.